Hello students, welcome back. This is a continuation lecture for your nutrition. Till now we are studying basically all the organs which are involved in your alimentary canal in the digestion process. Till now we have seen what mouth is, how about buccal cavity, oral cavity, then we went through salivary glands, then we have studied pharynx, then esophagus, stomach, and finally we are going to study small intestine, and iske baad we'll continue with the large intestine. Now talking about small intestine structurally, small intestine is coiled and narrow tube, and it is distinctly divided into three regions, that is duodenum, jejunum, and ileum. Duodenum is the very first part, the proximal part of the intestine. It is U-shaped structure. It starts from the pyloric end of the stomach, and it receives secretion from common ducts, which carries secretion of liver and pancreas, two very important glands for digestive system. Okay, the second part of small intestine is called jejunum, which is 2.4 meters long and bears finger-like projections called villi. And I think many of you must be knowing that these villi are there to increase the surface area of the inner lining of intestine, which will help in absorption. Okay, and the last one is ileum, which is 2.4 meter long and is club shaped, and is the one which will merge with the large intestine, from where large intestine will start. Okay, now this will get more clear if we look on the diagram over here. See, the stomach ends, and from here duodenum starts. This blue is duodenum. Now this light blue ends up into what is called jejunum, and ultimately it lands up into the greener portion, which is ileum. So these light blue, dark blue, and green colors which have been shown in this diagram are basically the parts of small intestine, that is duodenum, jejunum, and ileum. Duodenum is peculiar because it is having opening from your liver and pancreas. Jejunum is important because it is having villi, which increases this absorption, and ileum is the one which will ultimately merge with the small intestine. Okay, I hope this is clear to you all. I'll move back. And ileum too has villi. Okay, so that duodenum is the one which is having the openings of liver and pancreas. Jejunum and ileum are having villi, which are there for the absorption of food particles which are digested. Okay, and it will ultimately, ileum will lead to larger intestine. Okay, now talking about large intestine, which is roughly around 1.5 meters long, and it also has three parts: cecum, colon, and rectum. Now cecum is a junction of small intestine. Cecum forms the junction with small intestine, and then we go for colon, and then is the rectum. Now large intestine basically serves the purpose of absorbing water from the bolus. It absorbs water from and store the fecal matter until it is digested out of the body. Okay, food products that cannot go through the villi, that cannot be absorbed by villi, such as cellulose, are mixed with other waste products and become hard and concentrated as feces, and these feces are stored in rectum for certain time and then eliminated from the body by peristaltic movement through the anus. The exit of fecal matter is regulated by anal sphincter. I hope this is clear to you all. See, here is the structure of your large intestine. Can you just see over here? It's a cecum. Cecum is having the vermiform appendix. This is cecum, which is actually starting with your merging or junction is with ileum. Ileum se cecum jayega. Cecum is the junction between large and small intestine. Now after cecum, what starts is colon. Over here you can just see all this blue color part is colon. The one which is going up colon is known as ascending colon. This is transverse colon, and this is descending colon. Okay, and this is what is somewhat S-shaped. That is why it is called sigmoid colon. Okay, and ultimately this sigmoid colon or the colon will end up into what is called rectum or anus. Okay, so this is the diagrammatic representation of your large intestine. And now we come on to the very summarized part, how digestion goes about. This was all about your internal structure. How are they present? What are its parts? Now we are going to study how about digestion goes in human being. So the very first thing, it starts with the mouth. Food is mixed with saliva, which is secreted by the salivary glands. The saliva contains an enzyme which is called salivary amylase, ptyalin, which is there to break starch into still simpler maltose. Okay, now once this thing happens, the food is going to move into esophagus, where there is no digestion, as I told you in the previous slides, and then it reaches to the stomach. Now from stomach we start डाइजेस्टिंग प्रोटीन्स, है ना, प्रोटीन पेप्सिन पाया जा रहा था जो कि डाइजेस्ट करना स्टार्ट करता है प्रोटीन को. सो व्हाट हैपेंस इन स्टमक? इन स्टमक फूड इज चर्न्ड बाय द एक्शन ऑफ मसल्स ऑफ द स्टमक. The food gets mixed well with gastric juice, which contains dilute HCl and two enzymes, renin and pepsin. These two enzymes are there for protein digestion. HCl does what? Softens the food, kills bacteria which are present in food, and provides acidic medium for these enzymes to act. Okay. Renin enzyme is present in infants, which causes curdling of milk. Milk के digestion में helpful होते हैं renin. And what pepsin does? Pepsin also digests protein into proteases and peptones. So this is the function of renin and pepsin. Okay. Now, once the digestion of protein started with stomach, the food will move to the small intestine. And in small intestine, the first part of small intestine is duodenum. So in duodenum, bile juices and pancreatic juices mixes with the churned food. The bile juices which are secreted by the gallbladder are present, which will be emulsifying the fat molecules. The pancreatic juices will contain three major enzymes: trypsin, amylase, and lipase. Trypsin is there for digesting protein into peptones, dipeptides, into amino acids. Amylase is present to digest or break starch, and lipase is present for digesting fat to fatty acid and cholesterol. Okay. And from duodenum, food will move into ileum. Okay, where it is mixed with intestinal juices secreted from intestinal juice. The intestinal juices contains aminolytic, proteolytic, and lipolytic enzymes. All these three will digest the food completely, and after this, the leftover part which is not digested will move to the large intestine, where it will be stored as feces. Water will be absorbed, it will be concentrated there, and ultimately it will be moved out of the body via anus. Okay. So this was the last of your digestive system. I hope this much is clear to you all. Any queries, you can text me, call me up anytime. Okay, thank you.